Today we're reviewing Carnival Cruises. I'll be going over the embarkation process, disembarkation, entertainment, kids' activities, adult activities, a lot of things on here. And of course, the food. All right, start off, I'll do the embarkation, disembarkation process. I most recently went on Carnival Valor, which goes out of New Orleans as a recording of this video. Getting on the ship was pretty simple. We got there at 10:30. We were one of the first persons on board the ship. We had the earliest boarding time. So if you're a suite guest, diamond, platinum, faster to fun, your boarding time is basically 10:30. We got there at 10 o'clock, so we waited for a little bit. And when 10:30 came around, of course, they had to call an order. Diamond and platinum members, the suite members, faster to fun members. Then they got to general boarding, which was me. Then they called you by group number. So all in all, we're still one of the first ones to get on the ship, so I wasn't worried about it at all. Getting off the ship, I highly recommend, for many reasons beyond just this, using a passport when you get on the ship because it makes things so much smoother. With Virgin Voyages and a lot of other ports, and Carnival's working on the same thing, but only half their ports have it right now, but it is coming on all their ports eventually. To where you get off the ship, it'll just scan your face. It'll know that you're a U.S. citizen because you already authorized them to be able to use facial recognition. All you do is go to the machine, scan your face, bam, you're good to go. I was off the ship in like 5 minutes. With Carnival, they don't have that facial recognition at all their ports yet. Some of them they do. Even though at this port they didn't have that yet, the passport line was pretty much non-existent. If you had a passport, you go on the passport line and there's pretty much no one there. Versus if you use a birth certificate and your driver's license, you had to go on this super long line. The line was smooth sailing, but it was a very, very long line. So if you have a passport, use it. It's a lot quicker. Next, I'm going to get into entertainment. They don't call Carnival the fun ship for no reason. It is a fun, jam-packed cruise. No matter where you go, it feels like there's always a party going on. I'm going to start off with the shows. So for the shows, I'm going to start with my favorite, the comedy shows. I love this because every time I go there, I leave with my belly hurting because I'm laughing so much. They do have adult comedy shows and some that are a little more kid-friendly, more PG-13 shows, so the kids could come along. And then they have adult-only shows, which I personally love. That's the ones I go to. But if you're someone who's easily offended, don't bother showing up. But if you don't care about things like that and you want to have a good time, definitely highly recommend the comedy shows. They have tons of shows. The Love and Marriage show. This is the one that everyone talks about when you think about Carnival, is where they'll get the youngest married couple, the oldest married couple, and the craziest, and put them all on a stage and ask them questions, and you'd be surprised in some of the answers. This is an adults-only show, so it does get kind of risque and funny at times, maybe put it that way, because the idea is how their answers match up, and they don't quite match up, and the results are funny. You have to watch it. I don't want to give away too much. They also have game shows, for example, like Deal No Deal. Even if you're not chosen to be a part of that show, you can still win prizes. So for Deal No Deal, you go there, you get some tickets, and everyone's playing to win. So if your number is called, you go up there and actually play Deal or No Deal, and it's a lot of fun. The audience gets involved. And if you're someone just sitting and watching the show, you still have your card, and there's other ways to win as an audience member. So it's a lot of fun. They make a lot of their shows very interactive. And they have a lot of performance shows too. So the one I saw that was my favorite this time around was a 70s dance show called Studio VIP. If you show up to the show early, you could volunteer to actually be in the show. So as the show goes on, if you had volunteered beforehand, they will just walk up in the show, pick you out, and now you're part of the show. You got to do a bunch of little skits and things in the show. It was a cool performance, and then when they got audience involved, it was hilarious. So it was all good fun. So they really made you get involved. Again, the way they call it the party ship. They want you involved. They want you to have a good time. And I loved it. And if you're someone who's, hey, I'm not big about the hustle and bustle, there are some other activities that are slower pace. They do have bingo. They do have some trivia shows. So not all the entertainment is very high pace. It is all very friendly to everyone. They try to attract as many people as possible and appeal to as many people as possible. So if you look at the event list, it is full of activities for pretty much any and every type of person out there. So on a Carnival Cruise, you're not bored unless you want to be bored. As for the parties and nightclubs, they have a few of those and they're fun. Depending on what ship you on, it's kind of how many clubs and what the name of the clubs are called. But they typically have a nightclub. They typically have a piano bar. They both have different vibes. So the piano bar is more like a typical piano bar. You request a song, you sing along. It's a lot of fun. In the nightclub, you can get your dance and party on there. But it is a party ship. Those are like the official places. The Lido deck is another unofficial place. They always have a DJ out there. There's always some kind of dancing going on, just some kind of competition. So when in doubt, you don't know where to go to have a good time, check out the Lido deck. Yes, there are times where there's not something going on Lido deck, but typically that's where the hopping spot is. This is where you see those videos online to where people are doing line dances or dance competitions. It's all on the Lido deck. They even have like a hairy man contest, bunch of stuff out there. You just gotta check it out. Because of that, it does get kind of crowded in the Lido sometimes. But if it's crowded, it's because everyone's having a good time, so you're gonna have fun. If you are looking for a quiet spot to chill at, check out the Serenity deck. It's an adult-only place, and kids are not allowed there. So it's very quiet. It's the front of the ship, so you don't hear any of that ambient noise going on because all the wind is blowing against you, so all the sound goes that way behind you. So you hear nothing but ocean. So next, I'm going to talk about the food, and food with Carnival is amazing. I'll start with the main dining room. This is the place that I love, at least one of the many places that I love. But what I love about the main dining room is the menu changes every single day. So typically they have some kind of port of call theme. So if your port of call is Mexico, they'll have some Mexican food. If you're in Jamaica, they're going to have some like jerk chicken or something like that. They change it up every single night, and it has some kind of theme to it, so which I love about that because it's not the same food over and over again unless you want it to be. Because you can order steak every night if you want, which my daughter did. She said, all I want on this cruise is steak every day and a chocolate melting cake. And that's what she had every single night, and you could do that. But I like changing it up. Depending on your length of cruise, you can have one formal night or many formal nights. One thing I know about Carnival is they're not very strict on that. So if you want to just go in a polo and shorts or t-shirt and jeans, they're fine with that. They don't necessarily require you to dress up formally if it's formal nights. But me, my wife, and my kids, we do every day just because we like looking nice. So don't let that stop you from going to the main dining hall. They also do shows in there while you're eating. They like to try to get people involved and dance along with them. So that's a lot of fun too. You're not required to meet at the main dining area every single night. It's your choice. You can go there every single night or you don't go there at all. And they offer 3 times, early dining, late dining, as well as your time dining. Typically choose from 6, 8, or any time in between, depending on which one you sign up for. The late night dining, people think of the Power Pizza, the free pizza that Carnival has aboard. It's not the only late night option, but this is the option that's open the latest, up to 4 a.m. Which they have regular pepperoni pizza, and they have some specialty pizzas, which I always get the specialty pizza because I want to try something different that I'm not going to get at home, and it's delicious. After you finish partying at the club or dancing on the Lido late at night, man, check out the pizza place. Or with any option, whether it be breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you do have the buffet area. As for breakfast, I like to go to the main dining hall for breakfast because they have an elevated breakfast experience. It's not the only place to get breakfast, but they do have a nicer breakfast menu here. And some other options that you won't see at the buffet. So I love going to there for breakfast. And on my first 5 Carnival Cruises, I used to go there, walk right up, and there was never a wait. Well, I think a lot of people started watching these YouTube videos on tips on the cruise, and it became a lot more popular. Because this time on my 6th Carnival Cruise, when I went into the dining hall for breakfast, there was a line. I have never ever seen a line there. And the breakfast place was packed. It was full. Fortunately, the wait was only like 5 minutes the first time. Every other day of the cruise, I went ahead and checked in online before I got there. So by the time I got there, I had like a minute wait. So it was never a long wait, but it's a lot more popular. I think people caught on to this little trick. Because the once empty breakfast spot with some great breakfast became super busy, which is good. Everyone's watching these videos and getting good advice and experiencing the most out of your cruise. And that's the reason why me and many others make these kind of videos. That way you get the best cruise experience possible. I now think the Blue Iguana is now the underrated hidden breakfast area. Because every time I passed this on my last cruise, there's basically no line there. You walk up, ask for a breakfast burrito, you tell them what you want in it, and within minutes, bam, you have it. It was great, delicious, and who doesn't like a good breakfast burrito? So if you want a really quick breakfast, check it out. And of course, you have lunch. You have the buffet area. Not only that, with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, yes, you can have the buffet area as well. They have a wide variety of selections. I can't even name them all. They have so many. You also have the deli, which is on the Carnival Valor and a few other ships. Not every ship. Some of these may vary depending on what ship you're on. I'm talking about the Valor at the moment. So you have the deli, the Mongolian wok, and one that every single cruise has, which is my favorite, is Guy's Burger. On every Carnival ship, they have a Guy's Burger. I know some people say Guy's Burger is overrated, but let me put this in perspective for you. I, not too long ago, also went to Vegas. Another popular chef, Bobby Flay, has his own burger joint. And if I will put a Bobby Flay's burgers next to a Guy's Burger, hands down, no contest, Guy's Burger takes it away. Sorry, Bobby Flay, there's a reason you're not on any cruise line. I have Guy's Burger every single day and love it. I recommended Chili Maximus, which is a chili cheeseburger with some onion rings and some special sauce on it, and it's just delicious. I can't. You have to try it. Check it out. Of course, these are not all the places to eat. I have a full review of everything on the ship in my Carnival Valor tour video. So I'll leave the link to that below as well as the end of the video. Next, I'm talking about the kids' activities. I have been as a kid on a Carnival cruise before, but it's my first time taking my kids with me. So it's going to be a little bit different perspective. But Carnival is very kid friendly. I know one of the things that my kids loved was the Dr. Seuss parade. They got little cowbells, they got a bunch of decorations, some banners, and they walked from one side of the ship to the other. And they parade with Cat in a Hat, Sam I Am, and some other characters. It was a lot of fun. And once they got to the theater of the ship, they then read a book and acted it out, and it was hilarious, and my kids loved it. And if I know it was offered twice on that cruise, they would have done it twice. But they also have kid clubs for the children. Camp Ocean is from 2 to 11 years old. My kids both fit in that range, and they loved it. I have a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old, and they loved every single activity they did. They have little parties for them. They have games. They have competitions. My kids begged to come here, even though I'm planning to drop them there for a little bit. They ended up saying, no, I want to stay there again tomorrow, at least for an hour, just for a little bit. I'm like, okay. So they have fun. And for your older kids, they also have Camp C, which is 12 and 14, and Camp Ocean from 15 to 17, which I fell in that age range when I went on my first Carnival cruise, and I could tell you it was a lot of fun. I mean, that was a little bit a while ago, but not much has changed. And of course, there's many other activities, whether it be the water slides, the pools, arcades. So I mean, it's very kid friendly. There are adult places as well. Like on the Serenity deck, there is a hot tub specifically for adults. Certain ships, depending on which cruise ship you're on, there are other extra pools for adults only. So yes, there's pools for kids, there's adult pools as well, and there's shared pools depending on which cruise ship you're on. It does vary a little bit, but it's a lot of fun. And they even have game shows for kids. Now I want to talk about what room I'm in. So for this cruise, I went something for a little different. I usually stay on a balcony, but since it was my first cruise with my kids, I went for an interior upper lower room. What this means is an inside of the ship. There's no windows. Upper lower means there is bunk beds. So you have an upper spot and a lower spot to sleep in. That's the easiest way to think about it. But the kids, they love this because the bunk beds came out the roof. They were able to hop in, have a little fun, and they thought it was the coolest thing in the world. We don't have bunk beds at home, but anytime we go anywhere, the bunk bed, they get ecstatic. So it was nice not having to share the bed with the kids because they went in a bunk bed. I was a little worried about them going up there or not, but they loved it. The only thing about these rooms is they have one power plug. Some of the newer ships have multiple, but definitely keep in mind that more likely it's going to have one plug. Like on a Valor, had one plug, non-grounded plug to put in there. So that way it gave us extra plugs. I had some USB ports in there so that we all could charge our phones. We all could charge our fans. It had a fan going at night. Because we bought some chargeable fans that you could plug in during the day, charge at night, put it next to you, turn it on. Not that the rooms were hot. It's just I like it very cold, like 68 cold when I sleep, and the rooms are like 70. So therefore, I need a fan. So be sure to buy an adapter for the outlet. So who is this cruise for? Well, Carnival is really the fun ship. It's really the everyday person's cruise line. So it appeals to a lot of people. If you look at the list of activities, you can see it reaches out for a lot of people. Therefore, it can target a lot of people. Therefore, it is good for a lot of people. Good for families, people who want to go solo, people who are single, who are couples, honeymoons. People get married on the ship. I know people 70 plus who go on the ship. I know kids that go on the ship. I know people of all ages. So really, it's easy to go on a list of who this cruise is not for. And if you're looking for a kid-free vacation, as in no kids on the ship at all, I mean, I've been on Carnival Cruises without my kids, and I've had a blast. And I've been on a cruise ship with my kids. I had a blast. But if I want to go on a cruise that with no kids at all, check out Virgin Voyages. I have a video for them as well. But if you're not that person, Carnival may be a good fit for you. And if you're a person who says, hey, there's kids on the ship, I also want a quiet place, you still do have quiet places on the ship. If someone who wants to party all the time, there are definitely parties on the ship. Definitely hang around the Lido deck. So this appeals to a lot of people. Would I do it again? Given that this is my 6th Carnival cruise, heck yes, I'm doing it again. However, this is not exclusively my only cruise line that I'm going on. I've been on Virgin Voyages, which there's some things that Virgin does better than Carnival and vice versa. Later this year, I'm going to Margaritaville and Princess. Hopefully, over time, I'm going to every single cruise line, experience it all. So I can figure out what's the best cruise for you. So if you want to know about more Carnival, check out more Carnival videos. I have a bunch of other cruise videos. Check them out now, and I'll see y'all next time.